Hi, I'm Blake Startup. You may remember me from such longboarding films as the Landyachtz Eh Team episodes and other random appearances on videos throughout the internet. I'm here today to talk to you about safety. Your board's made up of three main parts. You've got your deck, your trucks, and your wheels. All of these factors need to be operating properly to have your board riding safe. First thing to check is that your wheels are on snug. They're not rolling off, they're not flipping around. All your nuts on the end here are securely fastened.
Check your nuts.
That way your wheel's not going to fall off. That's kind of key. So you want to make sure you give your board a once over every time you stand on it. It's going to keep you safe, it's a smart thing to do, and it takes like 2 seconds. Whenever you leave your house to go longboarding, you never want to do it without safety equipment.
Safety!
Your number one most important piece of safety equipment is your helmet. You want to make sure it fits nice and snug, it's comfortable on your head, and it's cool enough in looks that you're actually going to want to wear it. When you're putting your helmet on, you want to make sure your chin strap, you hear the snap, and that it's snug enough that your helmet's not actually going to fall off your head. Your next piece of safety equipment should be your gloves. These are going to save your hands because they're inevitably going to end up on the pavement. So when we're riding on the roads, we need to follow the rules of the roads. The cars that we're sharing roads with, they're following the rules, so that means that we need to as well. For riding our board safely, it's best if we start right with the basics, as far as the first time you stand on your board. When we start boarding, we want to make sure that we've got our feet in a really comfortable place and a comfortable position. If you're going to ride a longboard, you need to know how to stop it. The most efficient way to do this is what's called foot braking. So what foot braking is actually removing our foot from the skateboard and placing it on the pavement to create friction that's going to slow us down.
Foot brake!
The best way to do this is to keep your front foot on the board and remove your rear foot and place it gently on the pavement to create that friction. If you think you need to foot brake, do it right away while your speeds are lower and you're under more control of your board. The longer you wait, the harder it is to foot brake. Another really good way to keep your speed under control is through carving. And what carving is really hard turns across the fall line of a hill, scrubbing your wheels to keep your speed down. Now, what the fall line of the hill is basically the most direct line from the top to the bottom. So long as you're turning nice and hard and cutting across that, you're going to feel your wheels fighting the road and dumping speed off. So another great way to slow ourselves down or even stop is actually sliding, which is where we're breaking our wheels loose of the pavement, throwing the skateboard sideways, using the friction created by the wheels to bring us to a stop.
Friction!
Reason you might want to do this is it's a really efficient way to stop. Also, it's going to save the soles of your shoes, so you don't have to buy as many pairs of shoes. So what we have to do to slide to stop is we're going to have to get nice and low on our board and close to the ground. We're actually going to have to take one of our hands and put it on the ground to take some weight off of our wheels. We're going to be using our other hand to hold firmly onto the board and help us turn the board nice and tight by pulling up a little bit on the rail of the board.
Grab rail!
So with our rear leg, what we want to do is actually fold our back knee forwards to create a pocket in front of our back foot that we can put our hand on the board. That gives us a nice little spot to grab the board so we can get the leverage we need to pull against the board to anchor us so we can lean back and put weight on our hand. So we're putting our hand on the ground about the same time that we start to really crank the board for a nice hard turn. And what we're going to do is as we grab the board with our back hand and lean off to put our hand on the ground, what we're doing is we're taking weight off of our wheels and putting it in our hand. And if we time that nicely with the turn, so we actually push a little bit on the back foot, that's going to release the board from the pavement and allow it to start sliding. You want to focus on something that's down at the bottom of the hill that's directly in your eye line and keep an eye on that, and that's actually going to help keep you in a straight line. So another good way to shut down our speed, not only using our heel side turns, is to actually doing our toe side turns, where we're doing almost a push-up on the pavement. This one's a little bit easier to initiate than the heel side one, but it's just as effective, but it's a little bit harder to see what's going on behind you. So you definitely want to learn how to do both ways. So like our heel side slides, we need to get nice and low before we do this, but unlike that heel side, we're going to put both hands on the pavement. We're going to get low, reach off the board, and put our hands down. This one's a little bit easier because you can actually push both of your feet away from you to help release the wheels from the pavement. So sliding's not only a good way to stop, it's a great way to control your speed. Throwing a slide or a pendulum while moving allows you to scrub off some speed and keep rolling. Riding safely is an essential part of longboarding. Learning how to stop and control your speed will ensure you have a better time skating. Ride safe and have fun.